Okay, ladies and germs, I am going to be talking about these. The WEHONEST, that's the company name, the eBay site, store that sells these. Before you ask, they are $100. Are they worth it? It's going to be up to each individual. I think $59.99 be a little more appropriate, $100. But there is it's four I think circuit boards, and well, I've got another video where I got a lot of the install, but just a quick review. There's a bunch of circuit boards. They come mounted to a piece of plexiglass. There's a speaker. There's these two things. There's the 4 sensors, which I'll show in a second. There's quite a bit of parts with it, and I'm assuming, there's work that goes into it. So, I mean, again, who am I to judge? I'm just going to show you what it's about. The install, first off, difficult? No. Anybody who's done any wiring, anything, it's all self-explanatory. It's all plug in. There's no, I didn't have to strip any wires or anything like that. That's very nice in that regard. Now, what's going to make it difficult? What the underneath of your layout looks like. If you have a pre-existing layout with a lot of wires and they're mismanaged, like mine, because I didn't expect to do all these wires, so the few that I ran, I just kind of crossed them up, and my power distribution blocks are a little bit all over, so it's a mess down there. I've learned my lesson, so when I start working on that side, it'll be much cleaner. But so if you got wires all over, if you got distribution blocks, power distribution, if you got crap under there, or you're bracing, if you're in a corner like I ended up being and your bracing is in the way, it's going to be not a fun time. That's number one. So again, that's going to be individual. Now, number two, the thing I'd like to point out, when these go down, well, first off, see how that's moving? They do that sometimes. I don't know why. I'm going to contact the company, but that obviously is not correct. I have the correct power supply going to them, but it's right at the top of what's correct. It's 12 volt, 2000 mAh, and that's the top which they recommend. So I don't know if that's what's freaking them out. I'm going to contact the company. You don't do it all the time, but okay. So that's kind of issue number one, or whatever I'm at two. The third issue is let me show you. See how when they go down, they're at like an angle? Well, in here, right in there, there's a little nub that stops it so these just don't drop straight down and land on the ground. And that nub on both of them is in not the right place, so it won't go flat. It's always at a little bit of an angle like that. Not prototypical. Will I ever do something about that? Maybe. It's here. I don't like the looks of it, but it's such a small nub. Trying to get in there and fixing it, to me, seems like something that would be very difficult. See that nub right there? You'd have to sand that off or cut it, and then try to somehow glue something tiny, and getting in there is what would be the issue. Try to get in there, something in there at a lower spot, so this would drop lower. That's issue 2. Third issue, or fourth, whatever I'm at. So to put and I don't have these in permanent, I just stuck them in there. For these to work, there's obviously IR sensors, and you'll notice I have them at different heights here. One's lower, one's higher, because I'm still playing with that. The issue is the strength of them, and I'm gonna see if I can find more powerful ones, because when you have it sunk in like this, it'll pick up lower cars like this, no problem, no problem. But the taller cars with more space in there, it as you can tell, doesn't pick up. Kind of does. What I did, it wasn't doing it at all. This low one, this is the lowest one I have. See how it's working when I move it, which is okay. But see how I had that one really low for testing, and this one's higher. what I had to do, and I'll raise that, but what I had to do is first I painted, well, I took a marker with white and I whitened the underneath of his car. And that helped. And then I took it one step further and took some duct tape and put a strip of duct tape under there. And that is why now, when it's moving, it works. It picks it up. Now, if you're prototypical, oh, derailment. If you're prototypical, I'm sure you're not going to want to put weight on the bottom of your car or a piece of duct tape. And you're certainly not going to probably want to raise this high. Oh, quit harassing the cat. So that's an issue. Like I said, I don't know if anybody can help me out with that or recommend something. If you can get a more powerful set of sensors, that would be best case scenario. So other than that, and then the sounds, there's many different sounds. There's like 8 different sounds, 5 different like dinging sounds. The other 4 are just like goofy, like a rooster or a siren or a guy saying something along the lines of "stand clear," burr, 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 whatever. So again, worth $100 with the the movement like you see right there, the servos, with the weak sensors, with the angle there. I mean, there's lots of little annoyances that add up for me to make it like so that $100 is just not where it's at for me. I mean, $59.99, and like I said, if you make the adjustments, or then, I mean, don't get me wrong, you just can't beat like the cool factor. And if you get it set up just right, a prototypical, that's look for if you can fix that issue, they can't be beat for that. They're just awesome. You can adjust the volume on the speaker. It gets quite loud. Something tells me you'll turn the volume off after about 10 minutes because depending on the size of your track, as you can see, mine's kind of big, but still it only takes not very long for the trains to get around it, even at a slow speed. So every 30, 45 seconds, you're going to hear ding, 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 so you're going to want the volume down really low or off after a while. When people come over for novelty, you can show them, but I'm sure that would get quite irritating. So that's my little review, I guess, of the WEHONEST railroad crossing kit. Now, what's pretty cool is the one last thing, the circuit board that controls the servos to the gates can run 4 of those. So if I wanted to get 2 more of these, 2 more, another crossing, you'd only have to you don't have to buy a whole other kit. You just have to buy the 2 crossings, which I think are like $13.99 or maybe $19.99. That's not terrible, 15 or 20 bucks. And then you'd have to get, and it says in the instructions, you can set these up, I think, in parallel. The sensors, you'd have to get another set of sensors, which are cheap. So for, I'd say, under 30 bucks, you could do another crossing. So it wouldn't be another 100. It would be another, 30. And that's a guesstimate, but about there. So that I will definitely probably do for probably over there, or maybe even on the other side-ish. We'll see. But, so, if that's your thing, if that's what you're looking for, and you got the $100 burning a hole in your pocket, and if you can tolerate those little things, or you want to tackle them and fix them, then there you go. And I'm still loving, my DCCX EX CSB1. I always remember CSB. I always remember it for Cool Story Bro. The Cool Story Bro 1, loving that. Wi-Fi built in, 5 amps and not 3 like the typical Digitrax and power cabs. 120 bucks. I already had a power supply. If you need a power supply, 145. I can't so far still say enough good things about that. I've only had it for a couple days now, but that is brilliant. Yeah, So there we go.